In this segment, I'm going to be engaging the president of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, who is also a professor of psychiatry from the University of Jos. I'd like to welcome for the first time two Inside Sources, Professor Chris Piwuna. Prof, welcome to Inside Sources.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
I'm just going to start in the traditional way, since this is your first appearance on Inside Sources, and then we get to the other issues. If you look at the future of the country today, where do you think we're heading for, based on where we are today? Do you think we are heading for that great Nigeria that many of us believe is the destiny of this country?
Well, thank you very much for that question. As difficult as it is, I think Nigeria has seen more difficult times than this. Nigerians have seen more difficult moments than this. Nigerians have experienced some very life-changing experiences, usually as a result of our actions as Nigerians,
Right.
or as a result of actions of government, policies of government. And at all of those times in the past, I've never given up hope that we have a future as a country, that the future is there for us if we put our acts together. And so looking at what is happening today in this country, whether it is in the educational sector, where we are, agricultural, science and technology, the overall development of this country, I think there's hope that we can get it right. And I believe those who will come after us would have a future that is more assured and better than what we have.
Wow. Okay. I'm encouraged by your optimism, and coming from a professor of psychiatry, I think is a very useful, it's a very useful counsel, and I also believe that, the reason why I'm doing this is because, Nigeria's future must be greater than where it is. And I think, I agree with you that we've had was, well, this certainly has on
someone has said that our problem is not really whether we have enough resources to go around or whether the resources are there at all. It's how we manage it. And for as long as voices in our society continue to push government to remind them of their responsibilities to us as citizens, why we elected them to office, for as long as we are not afraid to tell them things they don't want to hear, I think that there is a future. Because each time you push at government, there is some change. The change may not come the way we expect, but they sit back and look at what you've said. They are not all as bad as they are. There are people who are reasonable, who are very stable and patriotic in government that can look at what we're saying, despite all they say to us when we push back at them and tell them that what they're doing is not right. And that takes us, straight into some of the challenges that the Academic Staff Union has had and continue to face with the Nigerian state. The issue of autonomy or academic freedom. For as long as that is not curtailed, I believe that we can continue to put government, on their toes and ensure that they do what is right.
And that's a very important point, and I also know from my own experience in government that, my perspective is that the government and the people that are in government, they are not detached from the people that are outside of government. We are the same people, and so to a large extent, the people in government are a reflection of the people that are not in government. And that's why it's important for people who have a voice and people who have alternative perspectives not to keep quiet. Because, like you said, it's a test of ideas at the long run, and we have a democracy. So we have to insist that that the democracy means something, and part of it is is to have this kind of engagement, even with people like you, to ensure that organizations like yours remain strong and virile. So let's come back to the issue at the moment. I understand that ASUU's chapters have been meeting lately. Do you want to tell us, this week in Abuja, do you want to tell us what you guys are cooking?
We're always cooking something, but always something good. Well, we had our National Executive Council emergency meeting last week.
Okay.
And the meeting considered a letter that was
The headquarters of ASUU is in Abuja.
Yes, please. And the meeting considered a letter written to us by Alhaji Ali Ahmed CFR, who chairs the federal government team on our outstanding issues with government. Basically, that was why we met.
Okay.
And when we met, we discussed it at length. And with all our branch chairpersons, every branch was represented at the meeting.
And how many chapters do you have in ASUU?
We have about 83 chapters.
Okay. Right.
Some of them, I say about, because some of them are observer branches, but we have close to 70 that are that have a full charter. So we all met and looked at the state of our struggle, where we are. And I can say it now on this program because branches have already been briefed about our meeting on Saturday. We didn't want, or it is not our style, to let our members know the outcome of our meetings in the public space before they get to hear from their branch chairpersons. But I think I'm free to perhaps say one or two things about it now that we've had briefing across the country this morning from all our branches. Our members at the meeting were very dissatisfied with the pace of response from government. The letter from Alhaji Ali Ahmed was considered by our union as delay tactics by the government because they had asked for 2 weeks, about 2 weeks ago. And in the letter, the chairman of the federal government team wrote to us.
That's Alhaji Ali Ahmed.
Yes, they were asking for another 3 weeks to get back to us. So NEC considered that as an attempt at delaying the resolution of this crisis. And there are other issues outside the Ali Ahmed Committee's report, like the 35% salary increase, the award that was given by this current government. We're still being owed 12 months of that salary. We still have 3.5 months of our salary that was withheld from the 2022 action that we embarked upon. We think that action by government to withhold our salary is punitive.
Is it not the one that the industrial court did say that no work, no pay?
Well, yes, the judgment of the industrial court was not conclusive. Like, I'm not a lawyer, so maybe I may not use the right words, but the court said it was okay if government paid us our salaries. And that it was also okay if they decide not to pay. That was basically that it was like it was at the pleasure of government to decide what to do, whether to withhold our salaries for not doing that work.
Because the argument of government then, I remember it was Dr. Ngige who was the minister. I think the argument was to say that, look, there's a clause in the labor laws that say no work, no pay. And I think that was what the argument of the then federal government was. And the industrial courts found.
I'm not sure.
So okay, yeah, please.
I'm not sure I can interpret or
not was a lawyer. So
that statement that no work, no pay.
Yes.
certainly did not apply to us because we worked and we deserve our pay.
During the strike?
No, we went on strike. They stopped our salaries. We went back to work after strike. We finished the work that we were supposed to do while we were on strike.
Okay.
We taught students. We covered up. We conducted exams. We marked the exams. We approved the results. Students use it to go for NYSC. Some of them have degrees, certificates as a result of that examination. Now they are working, they are moving on with their lives. There is no reason why that could be looked at as no work, no pay, because we did work.
Yeah, don't let's distract because you are actually making a point.
Yeah, that we met and were dissatisfied with the response of government so far.
Okay.
And we think that the actions of government has been very slow in getting, back to us with the document, the draft document that Yahya Almet presented to them. So we have asked our members to tell us what they want us to do. And so today, our members have spoken. I do not have the results of the referendum that was conducted as I sit here, but I believe we'll get to know as time goes on. Our members will tell us what they want us to do. And once they tell us what to do, I can assure them that we will do what they want us to do.
Okay, good. So we get into the issues one by one. I wanted to just ask you, since you are the president of ASUU, about the earned academic allowance. Is that the name?
Yes.
One professor of law from the University of Lagos did a big statement. I think it's Professor Yemi Oke. I don't know the correct name. I think Professor Yemi Oke, professor of law, University of Lagos, did a statement. I don't know whether you saw it, which was widely circulated online, WhatsApp groups and all of that, to say that, well, look, we must give commendation to the Tinubu administration and to Dr. Alausa that 50 billion naira has been released for the first time since the agreement for the earned academic allowance. I wanted to ask you, what's your comment on that?
We have grown in this country to the point where when people do what they are supposed to do, we should commend them. So when government pay you your salary, we should thank them for paying our salary. When government approves your leave, we should thank them for approving your leave. When your salaries have been withheld by a government for 5, 6, sometimes years, and a new governor assumes office and he decides to defray all that, people praise him for doing that, as if it was our fault that happened in the first place. But on this issue of 50 billion naira that was released, I will commend the government and commend Dr. Alausa, the Honorable Minister for Education, for fighting within the government circles to ensure that the money comes out. Because in the years that one have had the privilege of seeing how some of these officers work, the Minister for Education would probably have to beg the Minister of Finance to get something done for him in his ministry. The Minister of Science and Technology has to beg the Minister of Agriculture to ensure that the program that is for the overall interest of the country, of their parastatals, that is done. So in that light, we have seen, not just me, we've seen the individual efforts that the minister made to get
the
money out for our payment. But it is something that, that's not all the story about the earned academic allowances. This government or previous governments were owing us about 103 billion naira in earned academic allowances. And if you recall, from 2013 till now, each time ASUU has a conflict with government, the issue of earned academic allowances must appear as part of the problems. And so it was not government. It was ASUU that met government, then Dr. Ngige you're talking about, and said, look, how can we exit this palaver? It has refused to go away.
The lack of its payments at that time.
Yes. The arrears keep piling. You are not able to pay. We keep demanding for it. We are not going to stop demanding for it. So how do we solve this problem? And ASUU on its own, we said we're going to let go 50% of the EA.
So which was the, okay.
It is record.
So the total was over 100 billion.
About 97 or 103 billion. The figure was hovering around that.
Okay.
You know.
And so ASUU said that, okay, you know what? We give up the 50%.
We give up 50%. Give us 50%. That was under Dr. Ngige, as minister, under the last administration. We said we will give up 50%, but on the condition that you pay us the remaining 50%, which amounted to this 50 billion naira. You pay us the 50 billion naira and mainstream the earned academic allowances into our salaries. So it comes going forward. So it comes regularly in our salaries without any...
So you had that agreement with
the last administration.
Okay. But the money was not paid?
It was never paid even with Ngige. It was never paid when Professor Tahir became Minister for Education until Dr. Alausa came in as Minister, and he made sure that that money was paid to us. So it is not as if government was giving us some money that...
I see your point. I see your point clearly.
So sacrifices have been made. And even this 50 billion, government had agreed with our sister unions on campus, SANU, NASU, and the rest, that they will give them a certain amount. I don't know what the figure was. But we had agreed with government that ours was going to be 50 billion. But when the 50 billion came, they still took, that's government, still took 20% out of it and gave our sister unions. We have not argued over it. We have, look, when people don't understand and they think we are always, even Dr. Alausa himself acknowledged and has appreciated us for that sacrifice. What we want now...
To write off the 50%.
Yeah, not just write off the 50%, but to agree to share from what our own is with the other unions.
Okay.
It's in the minutes of our meetings with him. He has acknowledged that we have made sacrifices and that we've continued to make sacrifices. Nigerians need to look at it from that perspective. So when you say President Tinubu has done something, Dr. Alausa has done something, yes, we're not arguing that they have not done anything, but we're saying that we too have made great sacrifices.
I have a very keen interest in university education. That was where I caught my reportorial teeth, and I've always reported education, even when I was in the United States. Thank you so much, Professor.
Thank you very much.
Piwona, President of ASUU and Professor of Psychiatry from University of Jos. Thank you for your voice.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your leadership of ASUU, and thank you for your voice to national development, contribution to national development. And I hope that ASUU and federal government will be able to sort out this matter without a strike. That's what I'm hoping, and that's what
we pray for.
Be advocating for. Thank you so much for coming to Sources.
Thank you very much.